So today the tutorial will hopefully be short, and what we are going to be making is a lanyard for my girlfriend who sings in the Sweet Adelines, and she's asked me to make her a lanyard that will hold a pen and her reading glasses with a swivel clasp at the bottom to hold her phone. She has a little sticky thing that sits inside her, on the inside back of her cell phone case. And the D-ring hook or connector hook comes out through the part where the port where you plug in your charger, and then the swivel hook will hang that. So she sings in the Sweet Adelines, and she's asked me to make her this specific lanyard to hold her pen, to hold her reading glasses, to hold her phone as a recording device so that her hands are free when she is singing. She has things handy to mark her music and that. So hi, I'm Teresa from 360 Handmade Bags, and welcome to my sewing studio. So we're going to work this lanyard out at the same time. Now this lanyard would be great for teachers or nurses or anybody who needs to carry things like your readers and your pen and your cell phone, your ID tags. I know as an elementary school secretary, we had to wear lanyards all the time that I had my keys on, so my keys were with me at all times, and that I had my photo ID with me at all times from the board. So this type of lanyard is going to be handy for a lot of different people. And now I have tried making this lanyard out of faux leather, and it just didn't work out. The faux leather was just too stiff, even though it was very thin. And I tried making this out of ripstop nylon, and the nylon was too thin. So the pattern calls for quilt cotton, which is just right. So it's that Goldilocks effect. And so this is going to be a prototype for my girlfriend to try. She wanted black. I don't have black cotton, and we'll see if this is going to work for her, the cotton that I'm going to use. So the cotton that I am using, well, first of all, I am using just a matte black swivel clasp that she can clip her keys and her phone onto. So the cotton that I'm using is really pretty. It's from EMMALINE bags. It is from their Indigenous line, and this is from my favorite Indigenous artist, Betty Albert, Canadian Indigenous artist. Now, I'm all about color. I don't care about rainbows. I love rainbows. I mean, I love the colors and the vibrancies of the colors in rainbows. But what this is, so Betty Albert is my most favorite Indigenous artist, Canadian. Oh, there goes my dad's picture. This is one of her pieces of art. This is called Three Sisters. And I bought this notebook to depict myself and my three sisters. So my eldest sister, Lori, likes orange. My sister, Debbie, who is a year younger than Lori, a year older than me, likes blue. And of course, I like purple. And then we have two younger brothers, but they're not part of this. So this is one of Betty Albert's pieces of art. I did, when I first created my sewing studio, way back when, 3 years ago, I think, first thing I did was a puzzle, and it was one of Betty Albert's puzzles. And when I completed it, I put Gorilla Tape all on the back, and I have it on the wall back here, covering our electrical panel door. But this is actually what the puzzle looks like that I made, and this is called Sacred Spaces, and this is one of Betty Albert's, one of her paintings as well. And these flowers, these colors, that's what this material is from. Of course, this is way more vibrant than my coffee mug, but I just love the colors so much, and that's why I like her as an artist, a Canadian Indigenous artist, because her colors are so vibrant, and I'm all about color. All right, so that's the fabric, the quilt cotton that we're going to use. We have two pieces. So the longest piece for the actual lanyard part is approximately, now I've cut it approximately 40 inches to 42 inches. 40 inches would have been even long enough, but Jill's taller than me, and and the actual, you know, you adjust the length to where you want it to sit. So I made it long because she's tall. 40 inches would have been great for me. So I think I added a couple of more inches for her on the length of the longest strip. And then you have another strip. So the longest strip is 4 inches wide by 40 to 42. If you're shorter, you will want to measure and make sure that you probably are going to have less than 40 inches in length. It just depends on your body length. But 40 inches might be the sweet spot for everybody. It all depends. So 4 inches wide, the longest strip is, and 40 to 42 inches long of the quilt cotton material. And then the short strip, there's a short strip, and it's approximately 13 to 15 inches long, depending on the length that you use, and it's 4 inches wide as well. So what we do is, so this is the longest strip, and I've already folded it, so of course you're not going to see this salvage because it's going to be sewn into the seam allowance. So what I've done is I ironed it in half, and then I ironed the edges together and then ironed it together. So you've got approximately an inch wide folded strip, and then you fold this in half to find the center. Probably folded it backwards because I already have everything folded. It is a bit of a prep for the ironing, no word of a lie. So fold it in half, find your center, and I'm just going to mark that just so that I can see it. I'm just going to mark it with a little white chalk pencil, just where the fold is so that I can see it. Because we're going to be sewing over that. We're going to be sewing the short piece on top of that. All right, so I've just made a little mark on both sides where the fold is. And then the short piece, 13 to 15 inches long, what you're going to do is you're going to do the same. You're going to fold it in half and then fold the edges. So iron the edges in and do the same kind of thing. However, on your ends, you're going to fold them over 1/8 of an inch and then fold it over 1/8 of an inch again so that you have a finished edge here on both ends. And then you're going to do the same. You're going to fold it in half and find that center and make a little line. Make sure everything gets folded. Try and line up these edges, these finished edges, as best as we can. All right, so there's my fold, and I'm just going to draw a line there on both sides, just so I can see it. The folds could be hard to see. Okay, now the thread that I'm using in my Jack Industrial is the glide thread, and it is it's almost the same text weight as your Gutermann Sews-All. So I think maybe 25 text weight, but it's just a lightweight thread. It's great for everyday sewing. It's a polyester. It's great for your embroidery machine. I use this a lot in my brother's sewing and embroidery machine combo, and it really is quite nice because the glide thread has a really nice sheen to it, and it's a really nice it's a nice lightweight thread with some structure to it. So there's the glide thread if you're not familiar, but see the light shining on it? It does have a nice sheen to it, so it does make a nice embroidery machine thread. And also, like, to me, I can use it in all my machines. I can use it in my Jack Industrial. I can use it in my brother sewing embroidery machine, and I can, and it's a great all-purpose type polyester thread. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these folded edges, and I'm just going to sew close to this lower edge, and I'm just going to top stitch that down. Now what I've done is I've shortened my stitch length on my machine to a 2, just because of the fact that it is a walking foot industrial machine, and I don't want it to pull any of my my material. And make sure that you remember to start and, you know, back stitch at the beginning and the end. There we go. And then I'll do the other end as well. All right, so this is what I've done now. I've just stitched that edge on both sides. So now that we have a finished edge, because when everything is all sewn together, this is going to be the little pocket that your pen sits in. So now what we do is open up your long piece and find that center line. And then you're going to lay it's right side up, find your center line, and then your short piece is right side up, and match those center lines. And clip them, because this is where we're going to sew across. Just line everything up. Just make sure that when you have your fabrics open, both the long piece and the short piece, that your edges meet and they're lined up. Because my line in the center that I drew isn't just quite straight, so this will help me straighten it out. Okay. So I'm going to sew, this is the center line that I drew, and I'm going to sew that. Once you get the hang of this, it's going to be a very quick little lanyard to do. The time-consuming part, I believe, is just the it's just the ironing, which takes a long time. All right, so we've got it sewn, the two pieces sewn together. And then what we're going to do is flip it upside down. Make sure your edges are lined up, and fold all the folds into the center, and fold them all together, and then fold them in half like this, and then clip that folded edge. You already have your crease marks, so you can gauge how where all the folds are to kind of line up underneath, inside, and you'll be able to line up your stitch line here in the center. Okay, So that's all I've done. I've just sewn the short piece on, or not sewn, clipped it all onto here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the raw edges of the ends here. I'm going to fold this in half on that seam that I just sewed to make sure that it's in the center. Might have gone a little wonky. Oh, that's good. Okay. Take your raw edges on the ends and line up the right sides together. No, before that, we have to put on our swivel hook because it's like your zipper pull if you forget that. So just stick that on. It'll be sliding around, and then find your edges, make sure that they line up the right way and that they aren't going to be twisted. Okay, and clip them. And then I'm going to just sew a seam. But I'm going to sew it, you know, you can do 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch, but I'm going to sew over, I'm going to make sure that that white part of the selvage is not going to be showing on the right side. So I'll sew just above that. I'm not going to worry about trimming it either. Okay, so then we have all that done. So we just pull everything back, pull it all together, refold everything. Line up your stitch line, fold everything like that back again into your little pocket there. Just clip it all. The biggest thing is to make sure that these two folded edges, when you sew them together, that they meet, and that the one's not off alignment than from the other. So my friend Jill and I used to sing with the Sweet Adelines, and I used to sing lead, and Jill sings bass, and we sang in a quartet together, and we would compete in Syracuse with our with the chorus that we were with. They were the Barry Huronia Soundwaves at the time, and now Jill sings with the York Harmony Chorus out of Newmarket, Ontario, and they are quite a high-end, high-caliber chorus with the Sweet Adelines. All right, so now I have all my folded edges clipped together. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sewing all around at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and all around the other side. And I just want to make sure, so I'm going to use a pencil. My pen has a bit of a rubber edge on it and it might get caught. I'm just going to find this because that'll go in quite nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to sew around these. When I get to where I have joined this little pocket, and actually, you know what? You wind up with a little pocket at the back too. Just saying, you could put 2 pens one on either side, and your glasses, and then something else. You've almost got 4 pockets on this thing. All right, so I'm just going to sew, and when I get to these edges where I've started the little short ends, I'm going to make sure that I double back stitch over top of that, because there will be a lot of force on it. So I'm kind of going to start there, and I'm going to stitch on the right side of this so that I can see where I'm going. And then of course when we get to the swivel hook, we'll be moving that around. So I'm just going to be sewing at about an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Back stitching before and after over top of that edge. And of course, sewing at an 1/8 of an inch top stitching will knock your 1 inch down from 1 inch, and you'll take a total of 1/4 of an inch off, and that'll make your pocket about 3/4 of an inch to put your pen in and your glasses and whatever else you decide you're going to put in. Back stitch over top of the edge of that little pocket. As you can see, the sewing part of this works up really fast. So this would probably make a good craft market item. Like I said, I know that as a school secretary, we had to wear a lanyard. Okay, my bobbin ran out, so we're back to finishing that first edge. Now, when you get to your swivel hook, you have just make sure that you just slide it out of the way. It's going to be sliding around your lanyard for a bit until we finish it. Okay. I got a little smart. I put a little tray here to put all my cuttings and stuff like that, because even though I have a garbage can under here, I never ever hit it. So it's never hit it. All right, I'm just going to, because I don't want to forget where that spot was that my bobbin ran out. I'm just going to take the lighter to the thread. Okay, and now I'm just going to do the other side. Moving your swivel hook out of the way. Oops. Get that out from underneath the machine, and then just take my lighter to these ends. Been having trouble. These are brand new lighters. I buy them in bulk from Amazon. They're Bic lighters. And, well, they don't last. Unfortunately, I thought I was trying to find, if anybody knows where I can get a lighter just like this, the little short ones with the little short, they're the barbecue lighters with the little short end, just like this, that actually has a flame, leave a link below. It's predominantly, if it's, preferably I should say, if it's Canadian. I got these off of Amazon Canada. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but they came in a pack of 12. They don't last. I can't refill them. I can't refill them with the butane. So, all right, so figure out what side you want as your right side of the lanyard if you have a print. Find the center, first of all, that you stitched, and line up your swivel hook. So my swivel hook is going this way. This is what I'm assuming is the right side. I'll just check the print. Yeah, that's the right side. I wanted some of the orange flowers to show. Okay, so take your swivel clasp. I just kind of pop in the edges a little bit. Just kind of fold them under. Line up that stitch line with your swivel clasp, and then you're just going to stitch across here just to hold that into place. All right, take my lighter to the ends and just melt them if I can get the lighter to work. There we go. Okay, and there our lanyard is done. How pretty is that? Okay, how was that for a real quick tutorial? So here is our finished lanyard. Now there isn't any clip on here, a quick release clip. The lanyards that we had to wear at school, we had to have a quick release clip on it in case there was a student that kind of grabbed it and yanked it so that we didn't get choked. But I don't think she's going to have that problem when she's at chorus rehearsal or quartet rehearsal with her lanyard. So let's see it on. Isn't that gorgeous? That Betty Albert fabric is just stunning. So now here it is on me, and this will be the perfect height, perfect length for her. Now, if she feels that it's too long, I can take this end, cut it, and shorten it if she finds that this is going to be too long for her. But she is taller and longer in the body than I am, and that is beautiful. So as an example, now she's going to hang her phone off of that because she has a little swivel clip or something coming out of here, and she can clip her phone. Now she may find that her phone is going to be hanging down too far as a recording unit, and she may want it up higher. So I can shorten this if I need to. But as an example, if you have an ID tag or anything like that, or your keys, hang them off of here. And one of these little pockets, and like I said, you can even put them on the underside. Let's see if this pen is going to fit. This pen does fit, my gel pen. It fits in here, and then she can use this pocket, this edge side. Oh, that's the wrong side. She can use this side for her reading glasses, and she has easy access to everything that she needs for when she's at quartet rehearsal and chorus rehearsal when she's up on the risers. I know what it's like on those risers, and you have like this much, you barely have room for your feet. And and I was always up kind of in the middle to the back top, and it was, yeah. And you're trying to dance on the risers, but anyhow, so you need your hands free. You need to be able to do your hand motions and all of that too. So anyhow, this is just a quick tutorial for a lanyard. This, if you think that somebody might benefit from having one of these, then this is the perfect gift, a Christmas gift to make, as well as especially, you know, a nurse or a teacher or anything like that. And if they have to clip anything on, they can. But even on the underside, now the pen is in here, so they're not going to be able to put something on the underside, but maybe they want something on the underside instead of on the top, then they're able to do that too. So this is what she wanted. This is going to be a prototype for her. And if she likes it, and maybe the other ladies in her chorus may like it as well, then I'll make some more for them, and we'll go from there. So there's no name to this. It's just a quick lanyard. I've given you guys the measurements. Just determine for your height, or, you know, you might want it a little shorter. So like you may want it to shorten to come up to this height, and then that way, now I have a big phone, the phone wouldn't hang as long. So basically, you know, maybe 35 to 45 inches, depending on how tall the person is. So this is a great idea. It's very fast and simple to do. It's just the time consuming part is ironing. And that's it. So anyhow, thanks a lot, guys. Just a reminder, if you are already part of my 360 community and you've subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate every single one of you, and for helping build my channel. If you haven't subscribed and you've been thinking about it, well, down on the bottom right of your screen is a red subscribe button. Click that. It's free. It helps to build my channel. It helps to get the algorithms moving and ready to roll, just to build my channel. And then you won't miss any notifications of a new tutorial that I've recorded that would be coming out. And you won't miss any notifications when I eventually do a live. The next tutorial that I'm going to be doing I'm hoping to do is going to be the tall wallet from Sonar. It's going to be a custom order. So if you haven't got that pattern, then get that ahead of time and figure out what your fabrics are going to be and stuff like that. And then we'll work on the tall wallet from Sonar. So watch for that next tutorial. Subscribe. Like, comment, share. You know the infomercials. You hear all these infomercials on all of the channels that you watch, and I really appreciate everybody becoming part of my community and helping me to build my channel and helping me to do what I love to do, and that's just sew and create. I have to create, so that's why I sew all the time. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you the next time.